The message of the three wise men. Epiphany. They have been traveling a long ways, and we get here today, and many of us are ready to put Christmas all behind us. But as I was reading this story this week, I started to wonder. I started to allow my brain to go this way and that way. And I feel that the story that came to me is one that was inspired by the Holy Spirit. So I want you to use your imaginations today. I want you to allow yourself to hear the story in a new way. I want you to imagine. I'm one of the wise men. One of the wise men that you've heard about that traveled so long ago. Some of us called us magi, but really we were people who stood and looked up at the stars and paid attention to the stars. I was so blessed because I grew up in Persia and my family were rich merchants. And so I was able, as the first son, to do anything that I wanted. My father would say, oh, go ahead and make sure you do your studies, but honestly, I feel badly for others because I know that my life was one that was blessed. I never had to worry about money or food or anything. And so I turned my heart and my passion to the stars. You have to understand that my people, the people of the East, the people who come from Persia, they loved to look at the stars. And they knew that that was the way that the universe spoke to us here on earth. Some of you think that staring at the stars is just silliness. Some of you think it's a waste of time. But for my people, it was important. And I stared at the stars, and I studied the stars, and I got to know the stars. And so, when I saw that new star shining, I knew that something was happening. I knew that the universe was speaking to us. And I got together with others who also stared at the stars, and we agreed something was about to happen. But I felt deep within me this stirring. This quiet stirring, urging me, not just to sit there and mark the stars and chart the stars, but to actually go on a journey. So I gathered some of my friends who also felt this stirring, and we started out. We started out on a journey. It was not an easy one. I have to admit, I am used to comforts. I am used to having lots of food and having lots of servants, and this was difficult. Long hours walking with the camels. You know, camels can be really not very nice animals. Sometimes they're stubborn. Sometimes they don't want to move. Sometimes I wanted to get rid of them, but honestly, they are the only animals that could get me to where I wanted to go. So we put up with them. And as we wandered from one little town after another, people would stop and stare. Not in awe like I was used to, because when I would go into the marketplace, everyone knew that I was a rich person. But instead, they would stare and look at us like we had lost our marbles. We followed that star. It got brighter and brighter. We would sleep during the heat of the day and follow the star at night. For those of you who know anything about being in the desert, that is not the way to do it. Because at night, creatures come out. Because at night, it can be dangerous and thieves can be out. But we did it anyways, and we followed that star. Then for some reason, I don't even know, we got this inkling that we needed to go visit Herod. I'm not even sure why. But we went and we told him that we were following this star and that we knew that the King of the Jews had been born and that the prophecies that had been told for generations were coming true. I don't know why it didn't occur to us that this would not be good news for Herod. For Herod was in charge. Herod was a man who wanted power. Herod was very, very cruel to those who tried to oppose him. And here we were saying that a baby had been born. A baby, an innocent baby had been born, and he was going to be more powerful than Herod. Not one of my smartest moves. But Herod, trying to be very wise and trying to be very smooth, said, "You go and find this babe. You go and find this King of the Jews, and when you do, search him out and come back and tell me where he is." Okay, so we traveled on. We traveled on and we followed that star, and then it came to a cave with animals around. We thought, this can't be the place, can it? We've been traveling all this way to come to this spot. But when we entered, we saw a family, a poor family, had made a makeshift home out of this area. They had made their baby a crib out of a manger. They were taking care of him. He was growing. And we came and we were amazed. The moment we walked into that cave, we knew that we were in the presence of the Holy. That star had guided us to the One. And we gave him gifts of gold because we knew that he was going to be the King of the Jews. We knew that he was royalty. We knew that God had called him. We gave him frankincense and myrrh, two herbs that are very expensive. One that gives you pleasure, but one that also is bitter and is a sign of pain and death. Little did we know then that we were giving these gifts to this child who would suffer and die for all humanity, and who would give us love, and who would give us new life, and who would lead us and guide us. But the most important thing that I remember is bowing down in front of this child and locking eyes with this child. I have seen children before, but I knew that when I looked into the eyes of this infant, that I was looking at wisdom beyond my wildest imaginings. I knew that I was looking at love and compassion and hope that was so great I cannot even put it into words for you. We made a journey. We saw the King of the Jews. And then, as we decided to turn home, we realized that God wanted us to go another way. And so we did. And we did not tell Herod, for Herod would have stopped this child. Herod would have stopped this blessing from entering the world in the way that this child, this Jesus, was meant to enter our hearts. There are journeys that each one of us must take in our lives. There are journeys that are presented to us each and every day. We're on a new journey as we begin a new year. Many of my stargazers stared at the stars, but they did not decide to follow. Instead, they decided to stay home and cautiously chart the stars. They did not come with my companions. They did not walk with the camels. They did not go through the desert. They did not let their feet ache, but they did not see what I saw. The glory of heaven in this child. They were not touched by the holy like I was touched. And so I leave this with you. Are you being called to a journey? Are you going to sit back and just chart it out? Or are you going to jump in like I did? Oh, you'll get tired feet and you'll get dirty and you'll get exhausted on the way. But I'll tell you, the one thing I did in my life that was worth living was following that star. Following that star and coming face to face with God. Please, as you start the new year, find the courage to follow the star. Find the courage not to pack Jesus up and save him for next year, but sit and gaze in awe and wonder. For God has come into this world. The King of the Jews is with you. He died on the cross for you and promises to never leave you alone. Take the journey. Walk with God. Stand in awe. For the journey is worth it. Amen.
Amen.